This is Lindsay at the Car Food Channel. How are you? It's been a little while since I posted, and the thing is, when I have these technical difficulties, which I mentioned to you before, or I run out of data or whatever to post, then I sort of get in the habit of not talking to you. So it's not the best. But anyway, I'm really glad to reconnect, and I hope this finds you well. I trust that it does. Today I'm cleaning dates in preparation for the making of the Caribbean flat cake. We often buy these dates in paste format, but I couldn't find them in paste format yesterday, and I couldn't find any pitted dates, so I'm pitting them myself. So this is just what happens in the world. We take what we can take, and then we work out the rest, right? So, but for those of you who are new to my posting, this is a year of chronology that I'm going through and sharing and documenting for you, the viewer, the consciouspreneur, the small company owner, the person launching, the person thinking about launching a corporate entity, because we're really, this is a global vision of a company. It's not designed to be small, and so this is just to share that process with you, because if somebody had been able to share that process with me, I would have watched everything. So anyway, feel free to share this with folks that you think it might be helpful to. It is also, for anybody spiritually wired, a great chronology of sort of my spiritual path and what some are calling the inner game, of kind of how to navigate through the level of ambiguity that exists when one is launching something like this and hasn't done it before. And also, but it's called car food for two reasons. One is that Munch's Raw Snacks, which is our current launch product line, is it's designed to be a car food. It's designed to be eaten in the car, really, very casually, and to be, an entire meal for you. But that's really great core food for the body. And then also, it's called the Car Food Channel because we like to go through kind of the spiritual food that exists for me now that I am testing the product full time in the car. Oh, yeah, my light in my kitchen goes off sometimes. Hang on. That is according to movement. So, so if I don't move for a while, if I stay in the same spot, it kind of turns off about every hour. So, but anyway, so I'm living in my car. It's the first time I've done that. And so it's that exploration and just understanding and kind of exploring through what is, kind of what that's about and what that ends up doing, and sort of what I think about and so forth. So welcome. For those of you who have been with me already, hello again. Thanks for coming. And today I thought I would just update you on what's going on in the business. In terms of marketing and branding, really in terms of everything, I've found some really beautiful, just insanely beautiful, wonderful, knowledgeable people who are really aligned with the vision and who are already doing this work in the world that's in alignment with the vision of all well. And so I'm working with them. It's really exciting. In my last posting, I shared with you about some of that and one of my new consultants. And so we've been moving through both financials and branding conversations. And we're going to be going to visit with a couple of communications companies next week who I had not met with before. And it's really exciting. I understand from him that they're very aligned to the type of, that we do business the same way, that everybody's really concerned about the integrity of how things go and of the process. I want to share with you, too, what would be, in the old paradigm, considered a setback as well. Because, a lot of this that I share with you is sort of, here's the next forward movement, here's the next forward movement. And all that's super cool, and I'll share with you some more about that. But I want to share, too, that our first store that we were going into, oops, that's a pit. That doesn't go in the date area. Here we go. But our first store, who I love, I'm just such a big fan of, and I'm so honored to be in there, we're not in there yet. And the reason is because after our move, I didn't feel great about the way that the inventory had made it over to the new kitchen in terms of temperature and so forth. And like once people get the snack and buy it, they can do whatever they want with it. But I want them to get it in a certain condition. And so I didn't feel that they were in that condition, and so I didn't send them like that. And so we're now working our inventory back up, and where we are now is we haven't sent them yet. We do have enough inventory to send them, but I'm working up the back inventory and still the, how would you say, the routine with my assistant, who's kind of still learning the recipes a little bit. She's doing a really wonderful job. But as soon as we start demoing them at these stores, we need to be prepared to back it up, to send more, And so if we just have enough for our initial send, but we don't really have enough yet for something else, then I don't think that's a good representation to the store, and I think it puts them in a difficult situation with a customer base. And so it's not what I consider good business. And so we're not doing that yet. What that actually does is probably in the old paradigm makes me look worse than if we just sent it, just send them something. But it's really important to be keeping in mind in this emerging paradigm that this is about a long haul, it's about a long relationship, and it's about everybody feeling cared for in the most sustainable way that we can manage that for one another. So, so the reason I share that with you is because that is, sorry, I zoned out on the dates. I love dates. The reason I share it with you is because I know that some people watching this will be considering starting a business, and these are the kind of the twists and turns that go on day to day, that when we have to make that decision and we're by ourselves, a lot of time entrepreneurs are, of course, by themselves. What do we do? If you don't have a really, wonderful advisory set of people yet around you, that can be a really confusing day. That can derail your energy from doing other things. And that can be really productive and that you do know how to do. So to that point, so that's why I share that. And, just talking a little bit about sort of what we used to call failure. I think I've talked about this a little bit in the past, but I just want to say again, there's really no failure. Wayne Dyer used to say that, there's no way you can fail at anything. You just do something and it produces a result, And I think that's true. There's some simplicity to it that could be built upon, but he did plenty of that as well. So that is the truth of it. And what is on? Hi. Sorry, I thought it turned off. So these things, that we're moving through right now, I could consider a lot of these failures. You could. It would be real easy to do that. And I could consider a lot of the things that happen around me by my partners, by my staff, but like all of these things, we could frame them as failures. But we could also just not do that. We could also frame them as something completely different. And really, it's about exploration and expansion and learning, and we're always doing that. And you can't have a paradigm of learning and exploration in the same place that you can have a paradigm of failure. And I learned that in the corporate setting, where there was an attempt to measure performance according to whether a certain result was reached, rather than to go through a process and just say, okay, what did we learn in that process? And there's a real power in just dismissing that idea of that any particular result was needed. And so while I may think that I have a result in mind that I'm looking for or that I'm even shooting for, I really try to stay present. My lifestyle and my meditation style and my spiritual approach is to really stay in the present of, okay, what's emerging, what's trying to be seen, what's trying to be known. And So for those who are thinking about starting a business or who are in business startup mode right now, I just share that with you and our other friends as well. There's a lot of power in that, and it takes away entirely the judgment factor, the fear factor, the failure factor. Those just don't exist anymore in the vicinity where you are if you're working in this other orbit. So anyway, I think that's all I'll share for today. My assistant will be here kind of shortly, and I'm going to keep working on my dates here. But thanks for coming over. I appreciate you coming by. I've got a lot of dates on my hands now, so I gotta press the button on the computer and then go wash my hands. But yeah, so this is Lindsay at Carfood. Have a really sparkly day. Bye.